Hi everyone, in this video, I'm going to show you how to set up PTZ cameras for events. We just got back from the Stream Geek Summit where we set up multiple PTZ cameras for control on site and remotely with a remote producer. And so I'm going to show you how to set up a PTZ camera for your next event, whether that be a PTZ camera or one of our static cameras, showing you joystick controllers, how to control the cameras with your video production software, how to get the camera placement right. And it was just such a great event. You can see here how we were able to get close-up views of our presenters, allowing the audience to see really clearly what's going on. We even had breakout rooms where we had a podcast session, and we were using multiple cameras to bring together a really high quality video production. And I'm going to show you how all of that works in this video. So I'm going to start by showing you a presentation. So what I have here is a layout of the cameras. This is a diagram. And so each camera for our setup was set up over NDI. And we have 3 cameras here, and each of them were connected to a network switch. So they're powered over Ethernet, which makes it very easy to control the cameras from our joystick controller that's also connected to the network. But you can also control it with your video production software. So we were using vMix, but that you can control it with OBS. You can control it with Wirecast. There's a lot of different video production software that you can use to control the cameras. And I'll show you the live example of this at the Stream Geek Summit here. So you can see here that we have camera operator there. He's using the PTZOptics SuperJoy. So the SuperJoy is a great option for on-site camera operators that connects via HDMI, so you can get a full screen display of your camera. You can also see that we have the camera's web interface open as well. So we can connect directly to the camera, which was kind of up here, with any computer connected to the same local network. So we're going to look at how to do that and how to get your cameras set up that way. But if we continue forward in this video, you'll see we also had a vMix producer, and he's able to control the cameras directly in vMix. So let me show you a camera basically right in front of me here. This is a camera in vMix. So this is an input in vMix, and you'll notice that vMix actually has a PTZ tab. And if you don't use vMix, there's other software that can do this, but you can actually control the camera directly in vMix. This is similar in Wirecast and in vMix in a TriCaster, allowing you to set presets and control the PTZ camera for your event directly in your video production software, which is what you're seeing here. Just makes it so easy for event producers to not have to leave the video production software they're using to control the pan, tilt, zoom on the cameras and get those close-up views that the audience can really see the presenters and what you're trying to show them. Here you're seeing the SuperJoy being connected to multiple cameras and getting the video from those cameras. So when you have a dedicated camera operator or 2, you can have those camera operators join the session. And we even had a remote producer. Now you can bring in producers to your event remotely as well. And I want to show you how this works. So this is PTZOptics Hive, and you can click a share button in the software, and sorry about that. And you can share access with anyone in the world by simply entering in their email address, and then they can control the cameras for you if you're short-staffed or you don't have enough camera operators on site. So while that is really cool, the other awesome thing that you can do is you can use the SuperJoy whether you're on site or remote. So what does that mean? So that means I can actually use this joystick controller to control cameras anywhere in the world. And I'm doing that with any camera that I have connected to Hive. So it could be a Sony camera, it could be a PTZOptics camera, a Panasonic camera, doesn't matter. You can control these cameras from anywhere in the world. So if you have an IP joystick, you can of course use it on site, right? And it's great for on-site usage, but you can also use it remotely. And I'm going to show a diagram of how that works so you can control PTZ cameras from anywhere in the world. So we talked about kind of how to set up your cameras, and I briefly want to just go over this in a little more detail. So each of these cameras here, they are connected to the network, and they all have to be on the same IP range as the network basically. So you can basically set up unique IP addresses, connect to them with your SuperJoy or your smartphone. We have a free Wi-Fi app, and you can control all of these cameras together. So let me show you really quickly how Hive works. So when your cameras are on that network, you can connect to them remotely with the Hive software by clicking that share button. Now these cameras are Hive linked. That means they don't need a computer at all to connect to them to the cloud and control them remotely. These cameras are connected to a computer. Maybe they're not Hive linked, they're Sony or Panasonic cameras. They can be connected to Hive and you can still control them remotely, but they require Hive Studio to be running on the local area network. So PTZOptics cameras, you can just connect them to your Hive Studio, ship them anywhere in the world. As soon as you plug them into a network with internet, you can remotely control them as I was showing you with a SuperJoy. So really, really cool way to control PTZ cameras from anywhere in the world. So really exciting stuff for event camera operators. So how does all this work? Well, in Hive, you just click the plus button, you add the cameras to Hive, and it'll automatically discover the cameras on your network, and you can connect them directly to Hive. If you are connecting them to Hive with the Hive linked software, essentially what you can do is you can log into the camera itself. So the camera has an IP address. You can type that directly into a web browser, connect to the camera, and in the camera, this is where you can set up all the image adjustments and you can link it directly to your Hive account. So that is how the remote side of things work. This is the way we had the setup at the Stream Geek Summit. So if you think about this, we had 2 or 3 cameras at the production. I also recommend a behind the scenes shot so you can shoot back at the audience as well. So that's something to think about. This camera here can get a great shot of the audience. And then we also had another camera over here for the podcast. So lots of options for setting up cameras. This is a diagram that I think really helps explain kind of multi-room setups where you might have multiple PTZ cameras all connected to the same switch. And we were using a Netgear M4250 switch here, and then the streaming computer and SuperJoy on that same network. But now with PTZOptics Hive, you can do all of that remotely as well. So really interesting stuff for using NDI cameras, connecting everything together. And I hope that was helpful, showing you a little bit of how to set up PTZ cameras for your events, bringing them into video production software, controlling them with a joystick controller, and if you need to, sharing access remotely so you can bring in camera operators from anywhere in the world. Well, I hope this was helpful. That is our video on how to set up PTZ cameras for events and integrating remote control, whether that be on-site, remotely controlling multiple cameras and having an HDMI video feed, as you can see here, or controlling them completely remotely on the other side of the world in low latency using PTZOptics Hive, which we did at the Stream Geek Summit. So you can check out some of the footage and see the interactivity. I also made a video kind of behind the scenes on the tech setup at the Stream Geek Summit that I'll link below for you guys to check out more. Thanks for taking the time to watch this video, and let me know what you think in the comments below.